Alright, this is a comparison of two very similar semi-automatic 40 caliber pistols. This is the Glock 22, 4th generation. It's the newest model that just came out, and this is the the Springfield Armory XD-40. This is the tactical version with the full 5-inch barrel. This gun is exactly the same size and weight as well, not exactly, but very close. Model 1911 45. Also, Springfield Armory makes one of those too, which is part of the reason why I bought it, actually, because I like that size. So, to get started here, as you can see, they both look similar, and they are very similar. A lot of people say Springfield Armory copied Glock's design, and to a degree they did. Take the magazines out first. So now there's no magazines, both magazines are loaded. The Glock magazine holds 15. Springfield Armory XD holds 12. Now the XD-M, which is the newer generation, I suppose, holds 15, the same as the Glock, but the older one, which I actually prefer, holds 12. The changes that they made are mostly cosmetic. The XD-M just looks a little different, but functions the same. Internally it's the same. Very, very little difference actually between the two. You can see gun's empty. Gun's empty. Alright. Well, let's talk about the Glock first. The difference between this Glock and the 3rd generation, which came before it, again, a lot of it is cosmetic, but some of it's functional too. This grip is different. The texture on the grip, tiny little squares, very comfortable. It has a removable, or rather a replaceable back strap. It comes with 2 others. I did not put either one on mine. It has the same finger grooves. If you don't put a back strap on it, it's actually, the grip is actually a little smaller. The hump is a little smaller than on a traditional Glock grip, which I like the smaller grip because it's about the same as the grip on the Springfield Armory. It has a larger magazine release. This is twice as big as the old Glocks, which is really nice. Makes it very easy to release the mag very quickly. What else is different? The grip, the mag release. Oh yeah, do this. See the spring here? That's a new design for Glock. It's like a double wound spring. It's supposed to take more recoil. I really don't notice much difference between this 40 and the older 40. They feel about the same to me. Some people say this feels better to them, like more like shooting a 9mm, but I really don't feel it. But you can see it's a different type of a spring. Otherwise, internally, same old simple Glock system. I don't think anything else was changed, although there is some internal component which I believe they modified. I'm not sure which one it was. And I'm going to leave this taken apart, put it over here, and go to the Springfield Armory gun next. Now the way you take this one down is a little different from Glock. Pull that back, you flip this lever up, let it go forward, pull the trigger, and then it comes off like that. And you see, that's more of the old style spring that Glock used to use. But it goes up into the shrouded part of the barrel, and the rest of it, you see how the spring is different. It's just like a Glock. Works the same way as a Glock, pretty much. Most of the internal mechanisms are the same. The design's slightly different, of course, but the same sort of simple system as a Glock. Okay. So let's put these back together. The Glock is very easy to take down. As is the Springfield Armory also. And I'm doing something wrong here. Hang on just a minute. Let's see what I've done here. I think this needs to be up. Yeah, that's it. Yep, and then that goes down. Then you release it. Okay. What's the difference between these two guns? Well, again, very little. The triggers are different. Okay? If you look at the trigger on both guns, they both have that inset safety trigger, it's called, which I never quite got the concept. What makes that safe, I don't know. The Glock trigger goes back about this far, catches. It's pretty stiff. It's about 5 pounds. Springfield Armory trigger goes back a little bit farther. It's a little bit softer trigger. And the pull weight is less. I'd say it's about 4 pounds. Okay, here's the big difference. Springfield Armory has this. See that? That's safety. Just like on a model 1911. Springfield Armory has this. See that little thing popped out? That tells you that it is cocked, ready to fire. Okay, when I push the trigger, it releases. See, it disappeared. And the other thing that's different is this little doodad here. If you can see that, this pops up when there's a round in the chamber. I'm not going to put a round in the chamber, but that will pop up so that you can actually visually see it, and you can feel it with your finger when there's a round in the chamber. See, Glock doesn't have that. It's a safety feature that they don't have. They don't have the cocking indicator on the back. They don't have the safety on the back. It's a simpler gun. Glock is simpler. This was a little bit more complicated. More things to break. Okay? Less things to break. Which one do I prefer shooting? This is actually more pleasant to shoot because of the softer trigger and the lighter trigger pull. And it's heavier on the front, so it doesn't kick up as much when you shoot. The recoil is not as bad. Which one do I shoot more? Actually, I like shooting the Glock better. I mean, as far as just going out there and just wanging away. They're both accurate. But why do I like the Glock better? I can't really say that there's a real reason other than I just like Glocks. They were the originators of this design, and even though this one is easier for me to shoot to some degree, the more I shoot this one, the better I do with it, and the more I like it. So it's kind of like, you know, 6 of one, half dozen of the other, whatever you prefer, but there's not a heck of a lot of difference between the two guns. The XDM is actually the same size as the Glock. It has a 4.5-inch barrel, so it looks more like this rather than this. Okay, and they make them in other sizes. They make a subcompact and a compact in the XDs, as do the Glocks. The one thing I wish Glock would do is make a really small, like 380, similar to the Ruger LCP. If Glock made a gun that small, they'd sell millions of them. I don't know why they don't do that. But alright, I think that's about it.